Hey, what's up, everybody? It's John Robinson, John Buys Houses. I am trying something new today. I'm going to live stream this. I'm going to call a mortgage lender and see if I can get the power of attorney put on file with the mortgage lender. Of course, this is for a pre-foreclosure property. This is going to be potentially a subject to purchase, potentially meaning we don't really know a lot about the loan right now. I have my various means of doing marketing. So I do door knocking, I do cold call, I do texting, and the whole approach that I use is the approach of I've been there, done that, and it's because I have. In 2008, my wife and I came this close to foreclosure. Didn't know anything at all about real estate back then, but we had somebody who was in real estate. He was a licensed realtor, a broker that I did a lot of work for back then on some of his projects. He kind of reached in and helped us do a short sale, which, to be honest, as far as our credit goes, wasn't much better than a foreclosure, but at least it wasn't a foreclosure. So I like to approach people with that line because it's actually true. It's not just a line. It's actually something I've been through, done it. I understand the frustration that comes along with that type of scenario. And I remember it very well. So I try to lead with that. And my whole thing is if I can get the foreclosure stopped, then that's going to be at least a big relief as far as breathing room. They feel like they've got some kind of a, potential, solution. And that's the whole thing, right? So try to provide some solution, get the foreclosure stopped, or at least get it suspended, which is very possible. I just had one the other day. The lender responded with all of the after I sent in all the stuff that they needed, they actually suspended the foreclosure, took it off of the auction.com. So you can't find it on auction.com or anything right now. And we're now waiting for 30 days after they made that decision. They have 30 days to respond to us with what it is that we can do to fix the loan. So I'm working on another one right now. I just thought I'd maybe try doing this live today. So you guys bear with me. It might be a little bit quiet here. I'm just working here at my desk in my office. I've got a property down in Utah. I'm not going to give all the details right now. It's down in the town of Hurricane. I believe if you're a local, you have to say Hurricane. You can't say hurricane. It's like if you're from Aloha, Oregon, you can't say aloha, even though that's the way it's spelled and sounds. But anyway, I've got this property. The homeowner who I contacted via text message a couple of weeks ago, his wife called me and said, we really need to do something. We're ready to do whatever we need to do. So the first thing that you got to do is you've got to give me a power of attorney that allows me to contact and talk to the bank on your behalf and find out what's actually going on with this loan. So that's what I got right here in my hand. I'm not going to show you all the documentation because some of you will be weirdos and actually go and try to contact these people or contact the bank. But I've got basically a grant of authority pursuant to Utah code, and I've got all the details in there. I grant my attorney, in fact, broad and plenary authority to act on my behalf with respect to all real property matters, including but not limited to. Then I've got listed out here, communication with mortgage lenders and lien holders and vendors, buying, selling, leasing, conveying any interest in the property, negotiating, executing contracts, agreements, managing, maintaining, improving, repairing, insuring the property, reinstating any existing loans. That's going to be our that's what we're going to try to get in. Negotiating with lien holders, including foreclosure avoidance, accessing, executing, submitting any documentation. Now you say, why would somebody sign this over? This pretty much gives me full control of this particular property. And it's true, it does. It actually gives me a massive amount of control of this property. But remember, at the time that I talked to the sellers, I explained to them, well, they're not even sellers, they're just homeowners. I explained to them, this is what I do. I try to talk to the bank on your behalf and try to get the foreclosure stopped. If I can't get it stopped, then we move to the next step, which is to find out if we can actually get some kind of a negotiation worked out with the bank to where it makes sense for the homeowners to sell the property to me in a subject to situation or cash or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and give the bank a call. So you guys bear with me. By the way, if you're watching while I'm working on this right now, we're doing live I'm calling one of the mortgage lenders that I just got a power of attorney for. I've got several of these in the last couple of weeks, from marketing to pre-foreclosures. Guys, this is the easiest, fastest way to get into real estate deals and contracts, is to get these pre-foreclosure homeowners, these homeowners that are in pre-foreclosure, help them get a solution worked out for their property, which is how I'm trying to lead here. If I can work out a solution, then they'll be happy, and we can maybe work out a deal where they can stay in the house. If they can't stay in the house, then I'm going to already be in first position to be able to negotiate a purchase. So I'm looking up the loan here, the lender. By the way, you guys, if you're watching right now or later, whether it's live or later, you can ask questions in the comments in the chat. Just let me know what you're looking for, and I will do my best to answer it later on. So this one's a little bit funky because I did not get the full. I say funky, it's going to be a little bit weird whenever I call, but I'm really just calling today to get the power of attorney put on file. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to go to Essex Mortgage, so ESSEX Mortgage, and I'm going to go loss mitigation. So that's, I'm looking for their number. And loss mitigation. Okay, here we go. And let's do this live here.
Hi, thank you for calling Essex Mortgage's Customer Care Center.
You guys, let me know if you can hear that. If you can hear that, give me a thumbs up or something.
Recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. To make a payment, press 1. For insurance, tax, or escrow analysis questions, press 2. For automated account information, press 3. To request a payoff, press 4. For website assistance, press 5.
Just gonna hit 0 and see what happens.
Please note that all calls may be recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
It's funny because they record,
to make a payment, press 1.
Let's go ahead and just record this.
For insurance, tax, or escrow analysis questions, press 2.
This call will be recorded.
Account information, press 3.
I don't want any of those.
To request a payoff, press 4. For
See what happens when I hit 0.
Please note that all calls may be recorded for quality assurance and training purposes. To make a payment, press 1. For insurance, tax, or escrow analysis questions, press 2. For automated account information, press 3. To request a payoff, press 4.
I'm gonna have to listen to all the options this
For
time.
website assistance, press 5.
It's one of those annoying ones where the 0
If
doesn't
you're
go
having difficulty with making your
customer
mortgage
service
payment,
rep.
press 6. To speak with our customer care team, press 9.
Ah, there we go. Sometimes you gotta listen all the way through and get all the options. So again, if you're just joining us, we got a signed, notarized. Very, very important that you get the powers of attorney notarized. So signed, notarized power of attorney. And this is where the homeowner is giving me durable power of attorney limited specifically to this property. And we are
no longer want to wait on the phone? Press the star key and we will keep your spot in line. If you choose this option, the next available team member will return your call.
Yeah, but how long? How long will it take? That's the big question. So today, this is the very, very first initial step in this whole process as far as working with the bank. And the first step is just to get this power of attorney put on file. So every mortgage company has a little bit of a different process, but first thing is to get it on file. So if you guys are watching right now, or if you're watching this later after the live stream, feel free to post your questions, comments, concerns. Tell me if I'm doing it wrong. I'm open for feedback. Let me know if you can hear that. I think you probably can, but I don't know if you can even hear me if it's playing that loud. So yeah, we will get a hold of them, get this, find out which department we need to contact to get this power of attorney put on the record for this particular loan and this particular borrower. Now, one thing I don't have in front of me today, at least I don't think so. I don't have the loan number, and I should have that, but I think I failed to get that, at least not in my correspondence. That's okay. If they say that we can't do it without a loan number, obviously they'll let us know here in just a minute. But the main thing is that I wanted to make sure that I actually got this on file, because most of the time it takes 4 or 5 days for them to have it on, before they recognize that it's actually on there. So I'm just looking right now, seeing if I have any. What I normally get is a bank statement, but I don't think that I've gotten that back from them yet. So, okay, let's see here. I'm just going to email the homeowner right now. Is there any chance you can email me
No longer want
the
to wait on
latest
call? Press the star key and we will keep your spot in line.
picture
If you choose
of
this
the
option,
latest
the next available team member will return your call.
mortgage statement that you have access to. All right, so I just sent that out to him. So again, while we're waiting on this lender to pick up, the big thing is, once you have the signed power of attorney, and that's always probably, for some of you, that's probably the most intimidating part, but you'd be surprised at how a lot of people are not, they're not really afraid of signing and even going down and having it notarized, having the power of attorney notarized to give me permission to speak on their behalf to the bank, because of the way I approach them. So if you guys were here on the beginning of this call, what I do is I will tell them I want to see if I can get the bank to suspend or stop the foreclosure. And so I try to lead in with, like, I want to give you value of, let me see what I can work out with your lender. I don't come at it like, hey, I want to buy your house, because in reality, I don't have to do that. Most of the time, most homeowners, there's a reason why they're in the situation they're in to begin with. I'll use myself as an example. I lost my job, or at least work slowed down enough back in 2008. Work slowed down enough to where I didn't have enough consistent work, enough consistent income to be able to keep up with the mortgage payments. And so I was already behind. I was kind of already in a state of panic. This is back in 2008. A little bit of a panic of like, oh no, what are we going to do? We're getting behind. And it seemed like at the same time the market had kind of flattened out. Of course, it really dropped after 2008. Oh, it's here. Nope, I thought we had somebody. So it really dropped after 2008. And what happened was the reality kind of set in that I was going to have to sell, but I didn't want to sell yet. And so the fact that I actually was able to turn everything over to somebody that found out, hey, can they work something out with, for my loan, and figure out what the bank will let me do. I was just relieved to not have to do that, not have to think about it. So it was kind of like, sign all the documents, turn it over to this guy. Back then it was a realtor that I worked with. I actually done work on his projects, just as a handyman construction guy. And so to have somebody else doing that negotiating, conversating with for me, that was absolutely huge. Like that was a really, really big deal. So remember, if people are in a panic or a bad situation, it's not always that unreasonable to think that they would, sign a paper that allows them. Let's see here.
We will keep your spot in line.
Let's see if they'll actually do it.
At Essex Mortgage, we understand your time is important. We have reserved your place in the queue, and our next available agent will contact you at
50393.
Didn't want the whole entire internet to hear my phone number.
If you would like us to use another phone number,
that will work.
Your place in the waiting queue has been reserved. You may now hang up, and our next available representative will return your call.
All right.
So
So we'll see if they call me back here today. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, so we'll see. But the point is, when you think about getting, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe somebody signed, the full power of attorney granting the authority to for John to be able to basically do everything on this particular property that he wants to. And then there's another additional clause here that is very, very explicit. You can see it right there. I'll let you guys read that. Just hold that out there for a second. So additionally, my attorney, in fact, is hereby authorized to communicate and negotiate with any and all lenders, mortgage holders, lien holders, creditors, utility companies, service providers, and any other vendors or third parties in connection with this property. That's the big key, right? This particular property, including but not limited to discussing loan balances, reinstatement amounts, payoff figures, lien releases, facilitating any necessary payments or agreements to preserve, transfer the ownership, reinstate debt, or resolve outstanding obligations tied to the property. Look at this, the effectiveness and duration. It becomes effective immediately upon execution, remains in full force and effect until revoked in writing by me or until my death, whichever occurs first. Now, I actually don't even always put that until my death one in there because I prefer to have something that is that stays on, that's durable even after someone passes. So the point is, I've got a 3-page power of attorney. It's very specific. It's related to this particular property. I'm not going to give you the property or the owner's name here on the internet, but what you have, whenever you have a power of attorney, it allows them, and of course, the lender is going to look it over. They might even say, hey, we don't like this or don't like that. That doesn't usually happen. I have not had it happen to me personally, but I've heard it happen to other people. But the point is, once you have the power of attorney, now I can actually submit it to the lender, and the lender has to receive that. They have to put that on the file for this particular loan, and they have to, by verbiage of the power of attorney, they have to give me authority. So this is giving me authority from the homeowner to give me, John Robinson, the power of attorney that I need to be able to talk to them and figure things out. So let's see here. We got I think I just got an email from the homeowner, and he is giving me, it looks like he's giving me the bank statement. So let me pull that up here while we're waiting on the lender to call me back. Okay, what do we got here? Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, so we have the loan number. We have the delinquency period here. The loan became delinquent on August 8th, 2023. So this has been for quite a while here now. Let's see, there's multiple payments, the payment history here. Looks like the total amount that's due right now, this is probably old information too, but is $61,144. So that's probably, yeah, that's probably going to be more than that now, because once it goes into default and then gets turned over to the trustee, those numbers keep going up pretty quickly. So I'm just looking over this delinquent payment amount, $57,000. Okay, so we actually have a phone number here. I'm going to see if I called this number, if it's different. Let's see if we give them a call here. I'm going to just try this one and see if we get connected faster. By the way, I know for some of you this is extremely boring, but if you're here with me right now, you're still watching, then you must either be interested in this or you're working on something yourself, which is cool. I'd love to hear from you. If you guys want to make some comments or ask questions, this is the time to do it. Feel free to do that. And if I don't get hear back from them here soon, then I'll probably go ahead and end this stream and go on to some other stuff. But as soon as I call back, I'll try to get on and go live again. But I've got this one. I've got another one right here, guys. Another power of attorney here. This is for a different property. I'm not going to hide the address there, but I've got another set of power of attorney documents there. Let's see. I've got another one. I think I posted about this one not too long ago. I got this one here from one of my homeowners. So these things are coming in. Guys, it's not that difficult right now to get these signed and notarized, because if you offer to help people, there's a lot of people that are in need of help right now. So if you guys offer to help people, some people will say no. Some people say, blankety blank, get out of here. How did you get my number? All that stuff. But there are people that will say yes. And I'm finding in my business that there's more people saying yes right now to homeowners trying to help them. I'm sorry, to people trying to help homeowners than there are otherwise. So if you guys are in the real estate business or you're trying to get into your own house and you want to learn more about this, make sure you subscribe, follow this channel. Please let me know what you'd like to see more of, and I'll be happy to help you. I do a live phone call, not live phone call. I do a live stream every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So turn on notifications if you want to watch with us when we go live. We have different guests come in. We talk about different topics. But I was hoping today we'd actually be getting a hold of one of the lenders. So far, it hasn't happened. They have not called back yet. They must be extremely busy right now. It is 3:30 on a Thursday. What is today? Thursday afternoon. So, you know, it's good. So we'll see what happens. And I'm just going to say yes to the homeowner. I'm trying to find anything else that's interesting about this one. So what I might do for a minute is I might talk about this particular property. If it's $61,000 in arrears, probably more than that, to be honest, then why would I be interested in this property? I gotta have to pay $61,000 in arrears. That's a lot of money. There's a couple different things. Number one, I like to be able to maybe help the homeowner if at all possible. But number two, I know that you probably know this, but in case you didn't know this, the best deals are usually found when you're helping distressed homeowners, or if it's a distressed homeowner with a distressed property, that's like a double whammy. But even if the property itself is not distressed, but the homeowners are because of the situation, in this case, they're behind, they haven't been able to pay the mortgage for almost 2 years, actually 2 full years now. So they're 2 full years behind. They've got an auction date coming up very, very soon. If you can help a distressed homeowner, in this case, the auction I think is scheduled for sometime in early October. Right now, at the time of this recording, it's early August. So they got about 2 months left to before this house goes up to sale at the auction. The sheriff will come out. They will post notice that the house has to be vacated, or the sheriff will come out and say the house is sold. You're now trespassing on the property. You have 15 minutes. I've heard of as quickly as 10 minutes to get all your stuff and get out of the property. Now, nobody wants to be in that situation, obviously. So if you say, hey, listen, I'm going to try to stop the foreclosure, first of all. If I can do that, then we get some breathing room, figure out some solutions. We can talk about it. In this case, very unlikely that the homeowners will be able to come up with the $61,000 to catch the loan up. And that's the point where I would talk to them and I'd say, listen, I can probably do that. And I say probably because obviously you want to make sure that it's a deal for you, right? I believe the mortgage balance on this property, let's see if I can find it here. So yeah, so the principal balance on this particular property, I want to see if I can show it to you guys here. No, can you see that? We got the principal balance is about $280,000. You can see it right there, just a little bit shy of $280,000 is the actual principal balance. And the other thing that I want you to notice is, if you didn't already, is the loan interest rate is 4.25%. Okay, so I see that there, 4.25% interest. And so that means that the normal monthly payment, okay, the normal monthly payment for this particular property, it looks like the normal monthly payment is about $2,500 a month. And that's actually a little bit high because they're probably getting charged a high insurance cost right now. In other words, the lender has probably kicked in their own insurance to cover the to homeowners insurance. So it's probably a pretty high rate. In any case, what you have is you have about $2,500 a month is needing to be paid, but the balance is about $280,000. Okay, so let's do some quick math on this. $280,000. I'm going to just pull this property up on Zillow. Okay, let's find the address here. I'm going to show you guys this here, and that's Hurricane. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. The Zillow estimate on this property, guys, is, and I'm trying to figure out if there's some way that I can show you this without showing the address. I hate that we have to be so careful about stuff, but people watch these things and sometimes they get all weird and they go and cause a lot of problems. Let me see if I can find some pictures of it. So first of all, I just kind of show you guys here. This is not. Oh, can you see that? Let's see if I can. There you go. Yeah, see, this is not a bad property. Okay, this is actually, now I'm sure it's not in this kind of condition right now. I don't know how to hold this thing. It's kind of awkward. There we go. It's kind of a beautiful property, right? It's down in Utah, and you see the pictures are not that bad. I'm sure that it's probably not in that kind of condition right now. But the point that I'm trying to make by showing you this is a newer property. This particular deal is a newer property. It's got beautiful staircase, custom handrail. It is, what is this house? It is a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, just under 2,000 square feet. And the rental rates for this area, of course, this is all based off of like Zillow and all that stuff. Rental rates for this place are about, it says it's about $2,800 a month. That's what one site says. Let's see what the other one says. See, rent estimate. Not finding it there. So the point that I'm trying to make is, if I can negotiate a deal, rent estimate, it looks like it's about about $2,700, $2,800 a month. Okay, so that's just a regular 12-month mortgage. What I could probably do is I could probably get this property reinstated by coming in with that $61,000, right? Get the loan reinstated, start making the payments again, and I can pay the sellers. You know, they're going to have to move out because they're going to get kicked out anyway, right? So if I get them to cooperate with me and move out on time and, you know, get out and leave the house somewhat clean, that kind of thing, then I could probably get them to move out with maybe, say, you know, $5,000 cash in their hand. That's better than anything they're going to get from the homeowner or from the sheriff, right? And then I can turn this property into a rental and just start having someone start paying rent on it. Okay. Now, there's a lot of other things that would go into it. Obviously, I'm not saying that's all there is to it, but imagine being able to get into a property that you now contractually own the property, you control the property, you can rent it out, start covering the rent payments with a little bit of money from renters. You make a little bit of cash flow, probably not much for the first little while, but imagine being able to do that by simply getting borrowing $61,000 plus $5,000 to pay this homeowner, plus another couple thousand for closing costs and cleanup. Let's call it all $70,000. If I get $70,000 to get a property that has a balance of $280,000 on it, then let's do the math on it. Okay, $280,000 is what's on the balance. Okay, and let's say $280K is the balance. Then we're going to put another $70K into it. All right, we call that just the quick math. We're into it for $350,000. Does that make sense? Somebody type in $350,000 in the chat so I know you're tracking me. Okay. Now, remember, I think I told you, if I didn't, the current estimate on this property it currently is $455,000. Okay, so let's say $455,000, and let's say in today's market it's really not, you know, that much. Let's just say it's $440,000. But let's, you know, you can play around with those numbers, but let's just say it's $430,000. Okay, we'll just make that easy. We're going to cut $25,000 off of what Zillow says right now, right here, right now. My altogether to get into this property, including paying the homeowners to get out, catching the loan up, everything. Remember, we said my entire total, everything I've got into it, is $350,000. Okay, so I got $350,000. Again, you guys go ahead and get your calculators out, but maybe some of you are smart enough you don't need this, you know, kind of math. But if you have $430,000 is what Zillow says it's worth, you only have 350,000 into it is what's owed, right? 70,000 to catch the loan up, to pay the sellers, a little bit of cash to move out, to pay the closing costs to get it cleaned up. Let's say you have a total of 350,000 owed on it. Well, guys, that means you're in a positive of $80,000 as soon as this transaction is done. In other words, you have $80,000 of equity as soon as you close on this deal, okay? And that's in a bad market. What's going to happen to this property over the next couple of years? The market's going to come back. Everything's cyclical. We know that. That's going to continue to go up. I would love to be able to, number one, help these homeowners keep their house. I really do mean it when I say that, because that would be huge. But if they can't, right? If they can't stay in it, if they can't come up with the money to catch up their arrears, it's better to give them $5,000 and a little buffer to be able to move out than just having the sheriff show up one morning and say, you've got 30 minutes to get all your stuff out of the house, right? That's obviously better. A controlled fall is better than a total face plant, right? And so if I can help these homeowners in any way, I absolutely want to do that. And if doing so allows me to walk into $80,000 worth of equity and someone else paying the mortgage, I'm not sad about that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is how you can actually get into home ownership without really having to go qualify for a loan. I'm not going to have to call the bank and say, hey, I'm going to take over the mortgage payments, and now I need to give you my credit report and show you that I have verifiable income. I'm not going to do any of that because we don't have to do that. I'm going to control the property through the durable power of attorney and through a purchase sale contract or a lease option contract, which allows me to more or less control the property. So I have not heard back from the bank yet. We've been on this thing for 35 minutes almost now. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and cancel this one. We're going to dead end this thing. But if you have questions, if you have comments, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you think this is a scam, go ahead and let us know. I'd love to hear it in the comments in the chat. I read everything, so I will see your comments personally. I might even respond personally. But the idea is this is totally doable. I've got one of these right here. I've got another one right here. I've got another one right here. This is happening right now. A lot of people are going into default on their loans because the economy is just kind of stagnated. Interest rates are too high right now for buyers to really buy. At least if they're going to buy, they're going to get exactly what they want. And there's a lot of people that just don't have a ton of equity. Now, somebody might be saying, hey, those people have that much equity. Why don't they sell it themselves? And the reason why most people won't do that themselves is because they're paralyzed by fear. The house may not be in really great shape right now. It may not be market ready. So there's a good chance that even if they did try to put it up for sale in today's market and the property is probably current condition, and after they pay a realtor, it's probably not going to get what it is, that they're not going to make any money off of it anyway. So most people think, well, why not just live in it as long as I can until the bank takes it back, right? So I'm not saying that's the right way to think or operate. I'm just saying that's what a lot of people do. So anyway, I hope this makes sense to you guys. Let's see, have I been live? I think I've been live. I thought I was live on Instagram, but maybe not. So guys, if the bank calls me back here in the next 2 minutes, then I'll hang with you guys for another 2 minutes. If they don't call back, then I'm going to go ahead and end this one. But let me know if you're watching right now and this makes sense to you, or if you're just like totally confused. Either way, drop something, give me a comment, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Let me know. Give me a thumbs down if you think this is a scam or you think this is just like totally not even the right way to do things. I'm open to hear anything. I love learning from people. And I learn from all kinds of people. So I'm not above learning and being, shown that I was wrong. But what I learned a long time ago, this is one of my first mentors in the real estate space. Most of you guys know, if you're watching this right now, you know that, I'm mentored by Pace Morby, Jamil Damji, Josiah Grimes, Nate Armstrong, so many people. I'm in Tim Story. I'm in Myron Golden's mentorship group. There's a lot of different groups I'm a part of. But my first real estate mentor, first time I ever paid somebody money to learn real estate, was a guy by the name of Phil Pustiovsky. Pustiovsky was his name, Phil Pustiovsky. And Phil Pustiovsky, I think he's actually just kind of making a comeback into the world of online coaching and stuff. He has the Freedom Mentor based out of Florida. But Phil Pustiovsky said something that I'll never forget. It really made sense to me. Hopefully it'll help you. He said, real estate investing is not about houses. It's not about land. It's not about apartments. It's not about multifamily, single family. He said it's not about commercial versus residential. Phil Pustiowski, one of my first mentors, he said, and this is, man, I'm going back now 10 years ago, for sure, it's solid 10 years ago. Phil said, the business that we are in is not about any of those things. The business that we are in is in the business of contracts. Contracts are the business that we are in. And so you guys have to understand, you have to learn how to do contracts and understand that contracts are what controls the deal, right? So, hey, Sherry, good to see you. I see Sherry's got, she's on right now. So guys, I was hoping that we were going to hear from the bank. If you were here earlier with us, we were on hold for a solid 10, 15 minutes. And then I just did the thing where they're going to call me back. So if they call me back, I'll try to get on and go live again, try to at least record it. But if nothing else, if you don't learn anything else today, just remember this, because of these 3 pieces of paper, right? And it's page 1 of 3, page 2 of 3 terms. And then the last page is simply a signed notarization. Okay. I'll just let you see that there. Fully signed, fully notarized power of attorney by here's this notary public down in Utah. She's got her stamp on there. Okay. By having this signed and notarized document, I now have the right to control this property for the means of which I have expressed, and that is to basically handle everything that pertains to this particular property. In a sense, I could put this property up for sale. I could do all kinds of things. Now, of course, remember, if I tried to sell it without talking to the homeowners, they're the ones that are going to have to sign at the actual closing documents, right? This doesn't mean that I can necessarily go down and sign for them in a closing, although I could argue that I could, but they probably wouldn't, the title company wouldn't allow me to do that unless they had, verification, at least over the phone or something. But the point is this is not used to abuse these homeowners. This is used to try to assist them. But because I go in strong from the very beginning, not with like a authorization or anything like that, I go in for a full power of attorney. I have them notarize it. This particular contract here, this signed document allows me to start talking to the bank. First thing I'm going to do is get this put on file with the mortgage lender so that they have it on file and they actually see that, oh yeah, John Robinson is authorized to talk on the behalf of, our borrower for this particular property. Yep, sure enough. So then they'll take that, they'll put it in their records, they'll attach it to this file. And then I will be able to call it. It usually takes 3 to 5 days until it's actually on, it's accepted and puts on everything, gets updated. But then I can start calling and saying, okay, I want to know how much exactly is left on the loan, right? Your last mortgage statement says $61,000, but what's the actual number? I want to know, what options do we have to try to reinstate this loan? Can we push that $61,000 to the back end of the mortgage? Those are the kind of things that I'm going to be talking to the bank about. And if we can get a really good, amicable solution that makes sense for the homeowners, then great. I don't mind trying to help some homeowners, right? We should all be in the business of helping people. But in most cases, that's not quite how it works. Sometimes we get lucky, right? But a lot of times they say, well, it's too late. We've got to come up with full balance or it's going to go to auction. And that's where I go back to them and say, hey, listen, guys, you owe $61,000 plus. You're going to lose the house. We did everything we could. The only way out of this is to reinstate the loan by paying off that arrears. But what I can do is instead of you guys just having it go to auction, I can actually give you $5,000 cash. I can give you, as much time as you need over the next 30 to 60 days to move out. And I'm going to, fix the loan. We're going to start making payments on it again so that your credit starts slowly improving over the next 1.5 to 2 years. Your credit will actually go back up because anything other than, if you can avoid foreclosure, avoid a short sale, then your credit can still be salvaged. So try to help them in that area. And then, like I said, after they move out, we get the place cleaned up. We put some renters in there. Those renters are covering the mortgage payment. And now this loan starts getting the mortgage payment starts going, starts reducing the balance. In the meanwhile, the property values continue to go up. Right now, it's a downward cycle. We get that. It might stay down for a couple of years, but I don't plan to sell this thing. I plan to hold on to it and let the property pay for itself with a very minimal amount of money into it. If we can get the mortgage company to agree to put the arrears on the back end of the loan, that's fantastic, right? Now, remember, the homeowners, they were behind in the first place. They might not be able to make the payments. Even if we got them to agree to that, they may not be able to make those $2,500 a month payments. So we still have the option to purchase the property from them. But the main thing is that we try to help them with everything we can first, at least take a little bit of pressure off of them, do some of the conversating with the bank on their behalf, give them some options. If none of those options make sense for them, buy the property from them, give them as much cash as you possibly can and still make it a deal. And then if I have to go borrow the $70,000 to get everything done, then I will. I'll have my lenders say, hey, we're going to put that, have that money paid back in 2 years. And we'll either refinance it or we'll sell it, or we will do whatever we need to do to get that money paid back. A lot of times we'll use money from one project to pay off a lender on another project, or we'll ask them if they want to roll that money into something else. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I enjoyed going live with you guys today. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, get that, what do they say, smash that like button, let people know, and share this out there. And we'll be coming back with more of these videos in the future. God bless. Take care.